Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sly, and I want to talk about Daniel Jeremiah. I was listening to KNBR and I heard he was on there. And you know, Daniel Jeremiah, he's on NFL Network. He does a lot of articles for NFL Network, and he's a guy he's in the NFL. Like, he knows everything that's going on. And he did a mock draft, and he had the Niners getting Chop Robinson. So we're going to chop it up a little bit here and talk about that. And he also talked about who we picked up our best acquisition over the offseason, Leonard Floyd. And he talked about that too. And I really liked what he had to say. Let's check this out real quick and I'll talk about it.
So about the Niners' defensive acquisitions and what you know, so many to talk about, whether it was Leonard Floyd or Jordan Elliott, a D tackle replacing an Eric Armstead, the departure of Armstead, obviously the attempt to get Eric Kendricks from the Chargers, all those moves they've made. They made a lot of moves on defense, Daniel. I wonder if any of them stuck out to you or what you think of almost a complete overhaul. Chase Young out, Randy Gregory out, Eric Armstead out, all these new guys in, headlined by Floyd. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think Floyd's an upgrade. You know, just as a player, he's an upgrade over what Chase Young was when he came over after the trade. He's another one. You talk about length and athleticism, and someone who I think this will be, with Brandon Staley on the staff, will be the third different team that he's been with Brandon Staley. And I've talked to Brandon about him over the last couple of years doing the Charger games, and he has such a high opinion of what Floyd can bring and the skill set that he has coming off the edge to be able to set the edge in the run, but then to really bend as a pass rusher and get home. So that one to me is the standout. That's the one that jumps off the screen. Malik Collins got some ability. Gross Matos coming in there is a solid player, but to me that one is the one that jumps out.
And now, even with all those additions on the defensive line, Daniel, I saw in your latest mock draft, you have the 49ers taking a edge rusher out of Penn State, Chop Robinson, with that number 31 pick. Do you think that the defensive line is still an area they need to address in the draft? And how would you how would you power rank the needs for the 49ers heading into this year's draft?
Well, I will say there are a lot of fans that think I'm pranking them when I do mock drafts. They think that I have it out for them, and I will not give them good players, only players that they despise. So, look, when I look at the Niners, it's a philosophical thing. It's them. It's the Eagles. The Jets are another team. They all run that same front. They all want to attack with their front, and they all want to roll guys through. And Chris Kasurk has done such a wonderful job of that, have different waves of rushers. So, you look at it and say, okay, gosh, you got Bosa, you just paid Floyd, you've still got, Drake Jackson's there, you bring in Yetur Gross-Matos. It doesn't matter. You can never have enough of those guys, and if you have talent that slides down the board and lands in your lap, they will continue to address that. I think the offensive line, the defensive line, they're always fair game for that.
All right, man. So Daniel Jeremiah is there talking about Leonard Floyd, which I loved. I 100% agree with that. This guy is an upgrade from, Chase Young. Chase Young, solid player. However, he was not an every down back. He could not stop the run to save his life. He took plays off, and, in the playoffs, he got exposed a bit. So I love the Leonard Floyd pickup. I wanted him last season, but finally we got him. But what Daniel Jeremiah talked about in his mock draft, picking up Chop Robinson, the dude, I like him, man. I really do. What he did at the Combine, he pretty much showed that this dude, he was a talk of the town, man. He's an athletic freak. When you run, what was it, a 4.46 at 6'3", 253, he was absolutely amazing, man. He was the star at the Combine, and you can't teach that. You can't teach a dude athletic gifts. You just can't do that. And I know he didn't have the best stats out there. I think last year he only had 4 sacks. The year before, 5.5. And when he was in Maryland, I think it was just 2. So it doesn't jump out crazy. However, when you watch his film, man, the dude is amazing against the run. And he has that first get-off speed that's just insane. I think El Sacco put something pretty cool, how he showed Chop Robinson's 40 time, which was a 4.48. and his 10-yard split was a 1.54, which was the fastest in NFL history for an edge over 250. And that's comparable to D4, man. D4 was 6'2", 252. He ran a 4.53, and his 10-yard split was 1.68. So he's better, man. Like, as far as athletically gifted, he's better. And you see that on film when he has that first step where the ball's high. He goes, man. He's so damn fast, and he just disrupts the play. He was amazing, I thought, against Michigan last year. The dude's just freaking, I don't know, man. He just has that power too, with that speed of power, where he could bull rush you. He just get the corner, has a good bend. I really like him, man. So if he's there at 31, would I be mad? I wouldn't. I wouldn't be mad if we get him, just because you can't have too many damn pass rushers. If we get an offensive lineman, and if he doesn't start, what percentage is he going to play? It's not going to be a lot. If we get Chop, you know he's going to play like at least 20-30%, because these defensive linemen, they're switching off constantly. So he's going to get his reps. He's going to get his reps regardless, and you cannot have too many pass rushers, man. In 2021, we had just amazing platoon. We were 10, 11 guys deep at that defensive line. So would I be pissed off? Leonard Floyd takes a break. Chop comes in. Chop takes a break. Yair Gross Matos comes in. That would be ideal for me, man. That's what I would want in a perfect situation, in a perfect world, where we had that 2021 defense, where we're just deep, man. And I wouldn't be mad if we get a defensive end or a defensive line, just because that's what we built on. That's what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have done when we got here. They wanted to build through the line, and they've done a pretty good job, And obviously, there were some huge mistakes, getting rid of Buckner. You never do that. You never do that. You never get rid of your great defensive lineman. That was a mistake, but I think they learned from it. And I don't know, man. I really think that this dude, he's a stud, man. He's a stud. You can't teach that 4.48 speed and weighing that much, man. He ran faster than most wide receivers at the combine, and if he's there at 31, man, I would rather get the best player available than getting the 8th, 9th best offensive lineman. I say just go for the best player available. And if there's a defensive end or defensive lineman, do it, man. And then you can address the line 2nd round through the 7th round. Just go offensive line. That to me would make the most sense. To me, going out and taking a chance on the 9th best offensive lineman, I mean, what are we doing, man? I doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, people are gonna probably hate if we get Chopped, but man, dude, this guy, he's better than what I've seen, man. I've seen us get defensive players in the past, and I just wasn't on board. From Kenton Bomber, guys like Manny Lawson out of North Carolina State, NC State, where we got Manny Lawson, who I was like, dude, this guy, he just doesn't have that bend, man. He doesn't have that bend ability, which we need. You need to get to the quarterback. That's why I never was a fan of Farrell, because even at Clemson, I knew he didn't have that good bend, man, to get sacks. That's what you need from your DN, to get sacks, to get pressure. And even though he had 4.5 sacks last year, he was hitting the damn quarterback, and he was causing incompletions. He was causing interceptions. So, I mean, sacks aren't the end-all be-all, especially if you're getting pressure. And I think he had a great PFF. I mean, this dude against the run is absolutely amazing too. So, man, if he's there at 31, even though he did at the combine, I don't know if he's going to be there. Daniel Jeremiah says he will be there. But if he is, man, you got to take a hard look and be like, what do you want? Like, what do you want to get? One of the best pass rushers in the draft, or the 8th, 9th best offensive tackle in the draft? you know, that's the question you got to ask yourself. If you're the 49ers, what do you want? Like, you know, where are you going to go? So it's going to be interesting, man. We're only 1 month away from this, and it's such a big pickup because this is our first round pick in the past, 3-4 years, you know? So we got to hit, man. Like, we need to hit bad. Like, we need to hit like a crackhead need to hit, like, that much. So, I don't know, man. I think you just do it, man. You go, if Chop's there, if Darius Robinson is there. Darius Robinson is another guy from Missouri, defensive end, that kind of reminds me of Terrell Suggs. You know, honestly, I'll be real. He reminds me of Terrell Suggs. So these Robinson guys, man, I think you can't go wrong with either one of these guys. So the numbers are there, man. Like the combine just shows this guy's a freak. And even though, again, he didn't have the most sacks at college, the dude was getting pressure on a constant basis, man, which you cannot teach, man. Dude, that changes everything, man. The cornerbacks become better. Linebackers become better when you have that constant pressure on the quarterback where they're like, dude, we don't know what the hell we're going to do, you know? Like when we played against Trevor Lawrence and we were getting pressure, I think, on 48% of his dropbacks. And Trevor Lawrence, man, that dude was shook. Like, he was absolutely shook, man. And that's what you need. Constant pressure, man. Constant pressure on that damn quarterback. And it's going to change everything, man. So I like what Daniel Jeremiah said. I liked how he had us going there. And if he's there, man, Chop, baby. That's the new guy. Chop Robinson. But yeah, man, that's what I got, man. Let us know if you think defensive end, pass rusher is in the table, in the cards for the 49ers. Let me know down below. Talk to you next time. Peace.